Hello boys and girls, welcome back to Mr. Pui's English class. Today we are going to learn about time. Today's views are, I can say the time correctly, and also I can listen and answer questions. First and foremost, we are going to play a game with Mr. Crocodile. We are going to ask questions to him. We will ask like this. Listen very carefully. Hello, Mr. Crocodile. What time is it? I'm gonna repeat one more time. Hello, Mr. Crocodile. What time is it? Are you ready? Let's ask Mr. Crocodile. 1, 2, go. Hello, Mr. Crocodile. What time is it? Mr. Crocodile gave us a clock. What is the time? Let's take a look at the shorthand. The shorthand is pointing at 6, and the long hand is pointing at 12. What's the time? Correct, it's 6 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock. The shorthand is pointing at 6, so it's 6 o'clock. Let's try another one. Let's ask Mr. Crocodile one more time. 1, 2, go. Hello, Mr. Crocodile. What time is it? There's no response from Mr. Crocodile. Let's ask one more time. 1, 2, 3. Hello, Mr. Crocodile. What time is it? Mr. Crocodile gives us another clock. What time is it? Let's take a look at the shorthand. The shorthand is pointing at 5, and the long hand is pointing at 12. Correct, it's 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. The shorthand is pointing at 5, so it's 5 o'clock. Let's look at another example. You know what to do. Let's ask. 1, 2, 3. Hello, Mr. Crocodile. What time is it? Aw, no response from Mr. Crocodile. Let's do one more time. 1, 2, 3. Hello, Mr. Crocodile. What time is it? Mr. Crocodile gives us another clock. This is a little bit different now. The shorthand is pointing at 9, and the long hand this time is pointing at 6. You still remember? 9:30. Correct, it's 9:30. We use the word half because it's half of the clock. Half of the clock. It's 30 minutes, it's 6 here, and it's pointing at 9. That's why we are using 9:30. Great. One last question. 1, 2, 3. Hello, Mr. Crocodile. What time is it? Mr. Crocodile this time gives us another clock. Look at the shorthand. It is pointing at 2. And the long hand is pointing at 6. It's similar to the one before. Correct. We use half because there is a 6 here and the shorthand is pointing at 2. So we say it's 2:30. It's 2:30. Great. Today, we are going to learn a new word here. The new word is called quarter. Quarter. Repeat after me. Quarter. Correct. A quarter also means 15 minutes. 15 minutes, yeah? So, starting from here until the big letter 3, we can count together. 1 minute, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 minutes. Yes, so a quarter is actually 15 minutes. We have also learned that on the right-hand side of the clock, we will use the word past. So, we can say a quarter past something. Means 15 minutes past something. And this depends on the shorthand. Depends on the shorthand, yeah? So we are going to take a look at an example. This is 2 o'clock and 15 minutes. 15 minutes is also called a quarter. And on the right-hand side of the clock, we will use past. So we can say a quarter past. What's the shorthand? What's the shorthand? Correct. So the answer is a quarter past 2. 2 o'clock and 15 minutes is also called a quarter past 2. Is it okay? Let's take a look at another example. Now, let's look at the long hand first. The long hand is pointing at 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Or we can also call a quarter. What is the word that we use for the right-hand side of the clock? What's the word that we use for right-hand side of the clock? Correct. We are using the word past. We can say it's a quarter. A quarter here means 15 minutes. 15 minutes past something. A quarter past something. And this depends on the shorthand. The shorthand. So what is your answer? A quarter past, what is this? It passed 4 first before 5. So we get the smaller number, 4. Very good. A quarter past 4. 4 o'clock and 15 minutes is also called a quarter past 4. Now you try. First thing first, take a look at the long hand. The long hand is pointing at 15 minutes. 15 minutes is also called, correct, it's also called a quarter. We use a word for the right-hand side of the clock. What is the word? Past. Very good. So, we can say a quarter past something. And this word depends on the shorthand. The shorthand. So, it means a quarter past, correct, 9. Because we go from 9 to 10. A quarter past 9. A quarter past 9. 9:15, 9 o'clock 15 minutes is also called a quarter past 9. Do you understand? Good. Now, we are going to learn another concept. This is on the left-hand side of the clock. The left-hand side of the clock. Yeah? Same thing. A quarter equals to 15 minutes. If the 15 minutes is the last 15 minutes, let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So if this is going to be the last 15 minutes of an hour, and we are using the left-hand side of the clock, we will use the word to. We will use the word to. What does this plus 1 mean? I will tell you later. So we can say a quarter to. We no longer use a quarter past. We are now using a quarter to. A quarter to something. This depends on the shorthand. But the shorthand, we need to plus 1. The shorthand, we need to plus 1. Let's look at the example. Now, the long hand is pointing at 9. So we are using the last 15 minutes. So, on the left-hand side of the clock, we are using 2 plus 1. We can say it is a quarter to the shorthand. The shorthand is pointing at 2 first. 2, yeah? 2 plus 1 equals to 3. Correct. So the answer is a quarter to 3. 2 o'clock and 45 minutes is also equal to a quarter to 3. A quarter to 3 means we have 15 minutes more to 3 o'clock. A quarter to 3 means we have 15 minutes more to 3 o'clock. That's why we say a quarter to 3. Let's try another one. The long hand points to 9. We are using the last 15 minutes. So we are using the left-hand side, the left side of the clock. We are using 2 plus 1. We can say a quarter to what? This answer depends on the shorthand. And the shorthand is pointing at 4. So, a quarter to 4 plus 1. 4 plus 1 equals to 5. A quarter to 5. It simply means there are 15 minutes more to 5 o'clock. A quarter to 5 means there are 15 minutes more to 5 o'clock. Next example. Looking at the long hand, it is pointing at 9. We are using the last 15 minutes. and we are using the left-hand side of the clock. Same thing, 2 plus 1. What is your answer? A quarter to something. Look at the shorthand. Look at the shorthand. The shorthand is not yet pointing to 10, so it is 9. 9 plus 1. Correct, it's 10. So the answer is a quarter to 10. In other words, it means there are 15 minutes more to 10 o'clock. A quarter to 10 means there are 15 minutes more to 10 o'clock. Alright, let's recap what we have learned today before we go. If the long hand shows at 3, which is the right-hand side of the clock, we will use the word pass. So in this case, the shorthand is pointing at 4. So the answer is a quarter past 4. If the long hand is pointing at 9, which is the left-hand side of the clock, we will use 2 plus 1. Plus 1 here is for the shorthand. Pointing at 4 plus 1 is 5. So the answer is a quarter to 5. Alright, boys and girls, that's all for today. Thank you for joining me at Mr. Pui's English class. See you again! If you like Mr. Pui's English class video, please click like here and also click on the subscribe button. Bye!